If your car has any of these 11 symptoms of a bad fuel pump relay, we've got very good news for you. At the end of the video, I'll show you how to diagnose and fix the problem. First, let's understand why a fuel pump relay matters. What is a fuel pump relay? Everybody knows a fuel pump, but we know little about the relay. The fuel pump relay is a small electromagnetic switch that controls the flow of power to the fuel pump, which then sends gas to the fuel injectors. When you start your engine, the relay activates the fuel pump and stays closed to ensure a steady fuel supply. Fuel is the car's lifeblood, so if it doesn't run right, your car will have serious problems. We'll begin by looking at some more manageable problems and work our way through to the more ghastly ones. The first symptom of a bad fuel pump relay is difficulty starting. When the fuel pump relay is open, fuel won't flow into the engine, preventing the car from starting. This is different from when you have a flat battery. In this case, the engine will crank, but it won't start, or it might require a few attempts. If it does eventually start, you'll have other more challenging symptoms to navigate. The second bad fuel pump relay symptom is poor fuel efficiency. A failing pump relay causes the fuel pump to act erratically, meaning it won't supply fuel as it should. It could either supply too much fuel or too little, and it could eventually stop working. Before it does, you will notice that your fuel consumption will increase. If you act quickly, you will prevent things from getting really bad, especially if you respond to the next symptom. The third sign of a bad fuel pump relay is the check engine light. Where would we be without our trusty annoying friend? Grab your OBD2 scanner, and if you see the error code P0230, it means there is low voltage in the fuel pump relay main power circuit. This can be due to a fault with the fuel pump itself and not the relay. Stick around until the end, and I'll show you how to check if it's the relay. The fourth symptom is the fuel pump running continuously. While a bad fuel pump relay usually sticks open, preventing the flow of fuel, it can also stick closed at times. When this happens, the fuel pump will keep running. If your car is off but you can hear a sound coming from the fuel tank, it means the fuel pump is on. If this keeps happening, it will drain the battery and the engine won't start. The fifth symptom of a bad fuel pump relay is a noiseless fuel pump. Unlike the first symptom, in which the fuel pump relay is stuck open, or the previous one, in which it is stuck closed, we can have a situation in between. When the car is running, but you can't hear the fuel pump, even when bending close to the fuel tank outside the car, it means it isn't getting enough power. The trick I'll show you at the end will help you fix this immediately so that you don't also end up with a damaged fuel pump. The sixth faulty fuel pump relay symptom is failing emissions test. When the fuel pump isn't running right, too much fuel will go into the engine, causing it to run rich. This means that there is too much fuel relative to air. Excess fuel means higher emissions, thus leading to a failed test and expensive repairs. Fortunately, there are usually a few signs that your car will likely fail an emissions test. The most obvious being the smell of rotten egg or fuel from your exhaust. We'll dive more into this in another video, so make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell to keep updated. Back to the topic at hand. The seventh fuel pump relay failure symptom is rough idling. Idling consumes a lot of fuel, which is a problem when the fuel pump relay struggles to stay closed. The inconsistent fuel supply throws off the air/fuel ratio needed to keep the engine running smoothly, which causes the car to vibrate. Many things can cause rough idling, which is why it is important to narrow down the options quickly. The test I'll teach you for checking your fuel pump relay will come in handy. The eighth fuel pump relay problem symptom is a lack of power during acceleration. Your car survived the rough idle, but when it's time to take off, there is very little power. The problem with a fuel pump relay is that it impacts the very thing that makes your car run. When not enough fuel is supplied, it affects the combustion process needed to accelerate. While this is manageable, ignoring it too long will lead to more serious problems. The ninth symptom of a bad fuel pump relay is an engine misfire. Poor fuel supply from the relay not staying closed will prevent one or more of your cylinders from generating enough power. Engine misfires can be nothing more than an inconvenience, but they can also be deadly. It could happen when you're trying to catch up to a light, when trying to overtake, or when merging onto a highway. This makes your car a hazard, and it needs to be fully diagnosed immediately. The 10th symptom to watch for is engine surges. Similar to misfires, poor fuel supply causes the engine to run unpredictably. If you find your car accelerating by itself, you need to get off the road as quickly as possible. If you're near a car parts store, you can use what I will show at the end to quickly identify if it's a fuel pump relay problem. Finally, engine stalling is the 11th sign of a bad fuel pump relay. When little or too much fuel goes into the engine, your car could stall when idling. However, what is considerably more dangerous is when your car stalls while you're driving. Several things can cause an engine to stall, but the fuel pump is the most common culprit. If you're lucky not to cause an accident, it is best to call for help or go straight to a shop before it happens again. How to tell if a fuel pump relay is bad. However, before you spend over $1,000 replacing your fuel pump, here's how to check if the fuel pump relay is the culprit. The first thing you need to do is visually inspect the fuel relay, which is located in the black fuse box in the engine bay. If you can see signs of corrosion, breakage, or burning, replace it immediately. A new relay only costs $20. If everything looks fine, you can double-check using a digital multimeter. First, set it to continuity. Next, attach one lead to one of the power circuit pins and the other lead to the second power terminal. If you hear a beep, it means the power pins of your fuel pump relay have shorted and you'll need to replace it. If your vehicle is showing any of these symptoms of a bad fuel pump relay, diagnose the issue promptly. A malfunctioning relay can lead to serious engine problems, but with proper inspection and testing, you can avoid costly repairs. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and check out our next video on the symptoms of a bad and clogged fuel injector. You'll learn how a faulty fuel injector can impact your car's performance, reduce fuel efficiency, and even cause engine misfires. Don't miss it.